Hey Spuds, how's it going? And welcome to another trans toilet story time. Yay. It's inevitable that there'll be more than one. Last year, I made a video about my worst experience using public toilets as a trans guy, and that was a story that was from the very beginning of my transition. And today, I am back with a story about one of the most awkward times, actually probably the most awkward to date times using a public bathroom as a trans person, but not bad. This story was not bad. The story, thinking about it, does not make me feel uncomfortable, unlike the worst experience one. It was just something that was mildly frustrating and awkward at the time and meant that I held in a pee for far longer than I wanted to. So, we have to go back to Brighton Pride this year being 2019. And I was out at a club. And if you know me, you would probably be pulling a shocked face right now. I'm as shocked as anybody. Clubbing is not my thing. I do not go on nights out. I don't drink alcohol. I hardly ever drink alcohol. So yes, very uncommon occurrence for me. And I was out with Shaba, who is my fiance, and then some other people that we were at Pride with. And I'm drinking alcohol for the first time in a very long time. I don't really do it. I don't know why I did that night. I didn't get drunk. I just had a little bit. But the inevitable happens when you drink alcohol, and I needed to pee sooner than anticipated. I hold it for ages because I don't like going to the toilet in clubs, because on the very few occasions that I've gone to a club, I've always had an awkward toilet experience. And not just transy things, like the last time it happened, it was because there was a toilet attendant in the toilet. I didn't realise this, and I literally jumped. Like, you know when you go, woo, in public. I did that in a toilet in front of the attendant because I was not expecting somebody to be in the toilet, let alone somebody to say hello and ask me how I was doing on my way for a pee. And then I felt really awkward about peeing because I was like, well, I know he can hear me. And it took ages for my pee to make an appearance. Yeah, so clubs are just awkward to pee in, and the last time that I had like a awkward trans peeing experience in a club, it was when I went to this LGBT plus club, as was the one I'm talking about from the most recent experience this video is actually about, and I will get to in a minute. But yeah, I was at this club, and it was very early in my transition, but I was like completely using male toilets. I go in, and the one and only stall, the toilet is literally hanging off the hinges. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna pee tonight then. And yeah, I set a personal best for length of time I held my pee. Personal best for length of time, that makes sense. I held my pee for a really long time. But those are different, less interesting stories. Kind of. I mean, I don't even know if this one's that interesting, but I think it's more interesting than those two. So yeah, I'm on this night out. I need to pee. I'm with Shaba and a bunch of people who are all very lovely, but I've only just met that evening. A little bit into the night, two other people need to pee as well, and I kind of jump at this opportunity to not go to the toilet on my own, because also for context, because I'm gonna sound like a little bit reserved in this video, and like I could have made it less uncomfortable for myself by just talking a bit more, or like look at, you know, I could have made the situation better for myself. I'm very uncomfortable in club situations. The people, the loudness, everything just makes me feel very overwhelmed. So I did not feel like I could go to the toilet by myself. So when other people were going, I was like, yay, I'll come with you. And we follow the signs to the toilets. I think we asked somebody where they were, and somebody was like, they're over there. So we like make our way through all these like sweaty people and get to the toilets, but it's just women's. There's no men's toilet in sight, just women's. One of the people that was going to the toilet with me, not like with me, the other person on this toilet expedition was female, so she went in to use the women's toilet, and me and this other guy waited outside. But she like popped in and then very quickly came back out again and was like, hey guys, we don't know where the men's is, and this is like completely empty, so just come in and pee here really quick. And yeah, the other guy did, but I just felt like I couldn't. It took me a long time to get comfortable using men's toilets, and a lot of trans people, like, this is gonna sound really like deep, but a lot of trans people fight for the right to use the correct toilet, and I didn't want to go use the wrong one, and it made me feel uncomfortable, and I think I would have felt quite like dysphoric. So I didn't go in, and I went upstairs and I tried to find the men's toilet, and I asked a few people and nobody knew where it was, so I just came back downstairs again and I waited for them to finish peeing in the women's, and they both come out, and I say, oh, I didn't pee, sorry, I couldn't go in. They both knew I am trans, so they understood why I didn't want to. I said I would just wait, but they were insisting like, no, we need to find the men's toilet because you need to pee. And it was really sweet. So we went on this other expedition around finding the men's toilets. Eventually, after pushing through mass of people, that did not make sense, after pushing through a lot of people, because it was really crowded in this club, we found the men's toilets like in the corner, like the back corner of the second floor. And I go in like very quickly because at this point I've been holding my pee for a very long time and I feel like I'm about to pop. So I run in and I'm like, oh my god, okay, I need a stool. Where's the stool? Oh my god, there are no stalls. I'm literally like doing circles in this cube of urinals and sinks. There is nowhere to go in and sit down to pee and lock a door. It's literally urinals. Like, that's it. And I'm like, oh my god. And it's also very busy, so I'm just standing like a lemon, looking around frantically for a stall, and there's just all of these people standing and peeing. So I run back out and I'm like, oh my god, what do I say? So I just say, it's urinals, I can't use one. I'm like, it's okay guys, seriously, like I do not want to drag this on any longer, like let's just go sit down, I will hold it and I'll go back at the hotel. And they were like, no, 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 no. We are gonna find you a toilet to pee in. And so one of them very kindly goes up to somebody that works at the club and is like, look, where can men go to poo? And it was blunt, but it got the point across. And it turns out there were gender neutral toilets in like the opposite corner of the club. So hallelujah, there's a place for me to pee. They're queued out, but that's fine. I wait in the queue and then I go in and I finally pee to the relaxing symphony of other people puking. I was literally peeing and I could hear at least 3 different people throwing up in other stalls. So yeah, that was it. That's the story. It was mostly awkward because of me. I could have made it a lot easier for myself, but then at the same time, what toilet does not have an actual toilet in it? I understand they're gender neutral toilets, but why did the men's just not have one stall? Like just a stall would have been fine. But kudos, it was great they had gender neutral toilets and they were very big toilets and they were by far the most popular toilets. It's always like a positive as a trans person to find gender neutral toilets because it's just very comfortable, and especially if you're non-binary. There were just no signs, they were hidden. All the toilets were hidden actually, except the women's. Yeah, I was very lucky that I was with some very wonderful, helpful, kind people who helped me pee. Not like, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But yeah, toilets as a trans person can be awkward. Toilets can be awkward anyway. I thought this was just a fun little story to share with you. And the moral is, don't give up. If you've got to pee and you can't find the right toilet, keep looking. You'll find one. I don't know. If you like this video, guys, think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to, but no pressure. Any video topics, any awkward stories you have of your own, leave down in the comments below. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.